Okay, so I had a coaching call yesterday. From the start, I knew that this guy was struggling with some shiny object syndrome. But it's not what you think. Tune in. What's up, everybody? Justice here, your favorite life coach. I help entrepreneurs and leaders just like you figure out what's next, especially when you're asking, what now? All right, so I have this client who is absolutely amazing. He's probably gonna watch this episode, and so he called and he was excited about something, and it reminded me of something that I see so often and a lot of our misconceptions about shiny object syndrome. Let me explain. So everyone thinks shiny object syndrome is when you're doing one thing and then something really cool comes along and you leave the one thing for the other thing and it doesn't actually help. And so you're always finding new things, whether it's gadgets, software, biohacking, all this stuff. And so you never actually really get anywhere because you're looking at these other shiny objects. And I think that's true. I think that's a good description. But for those of you out there, like if that is true, right? And we leave for something shinier, for what we have that's already working, why do so many people do it? Does that make sense? Like, it's not just anybody. It's like really smart, capable, successful people are the most often find shiny object syndrome that get it. And so if they are like smart people, why do they fall for this thing?
Here we go!
And so I wanted to share today because shiny object syndrome is so much more than just seeing something fancy and nice and then chasing after that and moving on from the thing that's working. The reason that shiny object syndrome exists is because the thing that actually shows up that takes us away from the thing that's working is actually good. Seriously, it makes sense. It almost makes too much sense. And that's why we go after it. That's why smart people go after it. Now, the other thing about the shiny object that shows up, more often it doesn't include all the things you hate doing right now in the business that's working. So it's extra shiny. Part of its shininess isn't just that it's something different, something new. It's the fact that this new thing that comes across usually doesn't have all the things you hate. It's less administrative if you hate admin. It doesn't involve having to help people or be with people all day if you're with employees and people all day. It looks super attractive. That's why you hire someone like a coach that helps you see what you cannot see, because the shiny object makes too much sense. It's too good. It is just too great. It's too easy. It is a 1 + 1 = 1,000,000. Why would I not do it? That's what shiny object syndrome is. Because if it was just something else that was good, guess what? We'd go, yeah, but it's not worth my time right now. I'm working on this thing. So shiny objects come across at the times where we're the most over, or we feel we can't figure something out. When you're over something, you're frustrated with something, that's when a shiny object will show up. When you're done with your employees and you're over having more of these conversations about nothing where they're annoying you, and then something comes along, a software that you could create where you don't have to deal with employees. Ooh. Right? If that's you, I want you to look at your business now, okay? And instead of looking at the next thing as your escape vehicle away from the things that you're doing right now, I want you to look at the thing that you have right now that's working, that you've spent so much time on, that's paying you more than you could imagine. I want you to look at it. I want you to look at everything that you cannot stand doing, that you're going, this is not in my zone of genius. This does not make my life better. I want out of here. And I want you to ask this question: what would have to be true for me to no longer have to do this for the majority of my time? Okay? And then I want you to look at another thing in your business. I want you to look at a timeline, and I want you to look at how long and how hard you had to work to get it to where it's at right now. A lot of times the hardest amount of monies to make is like 100,000. It's like the hardest thing to figure out how to make your first 100,000. And then it's like the next one usually is like, how do I break $1 million? And then you break $1 million and it's like 5, right? It's like the $5 million mark. I have never hit the $1 million mark, but I've coached a lot of people and I've gotten to meet a lot of people that have, and they kind of all share the same sentiment. And so for you, why would you forsake this thing that you've worked so hard to get to where it is just to try to escape it for this thing that you don't know how hard it's going to be to build it? And so I want to encourage you guys and give you what is the real shiny object syndrome, so that you as high performers, entrepreneurs, leaders can avoid it when it shows up. The thing is, the shiny object is good. It's almost too good to be true, but it isn't great. More often than not, the thing that is great is the thing that is in front of you. And maybe, just maybe, you're in a slump. Maybe, just maybe, you're a little depressed. Maybe, just maybe, you're not hitting the revenue numbers that you thought you would. Maybe, just maybe, there's some things coming up expense-wise that you were not foreseeing. Or maybe you can't figure out how to make this thing make you more consistently. So you see something else that's shinier that looks like it could help you even more. Look, I want to help you as much as possible. I love you. And so if this is helpful, subscribe, follow, all the things so I can give you more of this stuff and share with your friends, because I want to help more and more people if they're struggling with shiny object syndrome, analysis paralysis. They just feel like they've plateaued. There's a way out. There's a way forward. Nothing is impossible. This is your favorite life coach, Justice Marimi, helping leaders and entrepreneurs just like you figure out what's next, especially when you're asking the question, what now?